How's it going, everybody? It is Saiyan Prince back again with another video. Today I wanted to showcase the ROG Ally. I've had this for a few days now, and I've had a little bit of time to tinker around with it with some games and a few settings. And I just want to say, guys, this thing is awesome. This is a fantastic handheld PC. It has been able to play everything I've thrown at it, with the exception of a few things emulated. This thing is perfect. So I'm going to go through a bunch of different games today. I'm going to showcase a bunch of different systems, how I have things set up on the system, but I'm not going to go into an exhaustive list of like all my settings or mods that I have running or anything like that, because the video will just get too long, okay? Before we get started, I do want to say I've got it set to the 30-watt turbo operating mode. And then I also have it set to 1080p, okay? So just keep that in mind. I'm going to keep the real-time monitor on. That is this here. So you guys can see what's going on. You can see my FPS. You can see how many wattages it's currently pulling, the CPU and GPU percentages as well, okay? I have found that basically everything runs at 15 watts. Especially the older stuff to emulate basically runs at 15 watts. But if you want to get into the higher end stuff like Red Dead Redemption 2 or Spider-Man Remastered for the PC, you're going to want to bump it up to that 30 watts, okay? So just keep that in mind. I'm going to jump right into it. First thing I want to showcase is BigBox. Now this is my BigBox setup. This is basically all of my emulators and all of my retro games from Switch down, okay? Everything that I emulate is all run through BigBox on my 1 terabyte micro SD card, okay? So this takes about 45 seconds to load, so I will spare you guys. Actually, it took only about 20 seconds. So I'm going to turn this off for a second so you can kind of see what's going on here. I have everything, all my retro consoles, all my emulated consoles, all in BigBox. So N64, NES, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, GameCube, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and 3DS. Everything on here plays great, guys. Everything does. I'm going to quickly showcase some of the older stuff, and then jump into the newer stuff as the video goes on, okay? I will leave timestamps down below so you guys can check out whatever you're interested in. Most of these I have video snaps for, but not all of them. Kind of showing here. Got some ROM hacks. I have quite a few Game Boy Advance games on here. Well, let's jump into Aladdin. Now what I'm going to do is whenever I'm running my BigBox, I like to put it in gamepad mode, because this is what I have set all of my emulators to run off of. And I know that there's a way to auto do that through the Armory Crate, but for me, Armory Crate has not been the most friendly, so I just have done it manually. Okay, now this is pretty cool. It just routes right through to RetroArch and then launches my game with my achievements and everything else. And as you can see, I have retro achievements. We'll just skip ahead a little bit. This is Aladdin for Game Boy Advance. This is an awesome game if you guys have never played this. I originally played this on Super Nintendo, I want to say, and it is a very hard game, but it's fun. A little bit of Game Boy Advance there. I'm going to hit my hotkey to go back. And it launches me right back. So that's some Game Boy Advance, no problem. A little bit of GameCube. There's some Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. This one's a little bit harder to run if I remember right. So we'll check this one out. This is Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess on GameCube. Running the Dolphin emulator. And this is Hyrule Field. I have quite a few hours put into this playthrough. So it's really good. If it plays 100% speed here in Hyrule Field, it'll play 100% speed anywhere in the game. I do have the FPS cheat, which essentially allows you, it's the Hyrule Field speed hack, I think is what it's called. So if you guys are having trouble running your Twilight Princess, and when you get to Hyrule Field, if it's all choppy and slow and stuff, that's just how the emulator is. Put in the Hyrule Field speed hack and you'll be good to go. Okay? And I mean, I'm running around. I just kind of wanted to showcase the performance of this. Obviously, all these old consoles, as long as the emulator is good and compatible with the game, you're going to get 100%. So there's no reason for me to have the overlay on right now. But yeah, I just wanted to showcase that a little bit. Nothing crazy. I know it's not a whole lot of gameplay there, but I just wanted to show you that this is 100% playable. It works great. It's fantastic. Highly recommend it. I'm going to go ahead and close it out. And it just knocks me right back to BigBox, which is fantastic. So cool. It's so awesome to be able to play through my GameCube games in a handheld form. None of these require me running the 30-watt turbo mode, but I'm plugged up, so I figured I might as well. I've been doing just fine getting by with the 15-watt. So let's see, we had GameCube. Let's try some PS2 real quick. This is Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. I'm super hyped about the new one coming out. I don't have any achievements that I've unlocked for this one. Let's just get into some gameplay if we can. Just so I can show you guys the performance on this. also perfect. PS2 performance is perfect. It has no trouble running PlayStation 2. Let's do one that can transform. I don't think I've ever beat 11 with his push-ups here. Let's see. Go, go, go. Ah, I got an achievement right there. Nice. I just set the retro achievements up, which is pretty cool. I recommend checking into that. Everything that runs through RetroArch or has any kind of retro achievement compatibility like PCSX2 does, you can link it with your account, and it is awesome. Oh, I'm gonna get smoked. I don't really remember how to play. Is this maybe? Yeah. And as you can see, it plays 100%. And I'll transform if I can. What was it to transform? I don't remember. Oh, I need a moon. I need the full moon, and there's no moon on this stage. Haha, that's why. Let's see. Yeah, so that plays 100%. Budokai Tenkaichi 3 on PCSX2. Let's see. Go into some 3DS real quick. 3DS, as you can imagine, also plays really well, as long as the emulator is compatible with the game. So it says on the compatibility list that Omega Ruby is not compatible and it plays bad, but it plays really well, so I'm not sure why that's a thing. Let's switch it over to full screen. Sorry, I didn't set all these to launch full screen because I was doing a bunch of tweaks and changes in the settings. I'm just gonna skip ahead so we can get into some gameplay here. I think I had just beaten a boss through here. That's what it looks like. Okay, sweet, thank you. I'm gonna see if I can get into a battle because that's where you're gonna have the worst performance. So you may notice a little bit of stuttering here and there as it caches the shaders, just like right there. But I would say overall performance, this thing is, the Citra emulator is pretty good. And I do have it playing in 4x resolution as well. So let's see. Just want to get into a couple of battles here. And see, it went much smoother that time because those shaders have now been cached. Same thing with my attack. Much smoother. Yeah, I would say this is for sure playable. This would be a really good way to experience the 3DS. And then it is touchscreen as well, so... Alright, I'm going to jump out. So it plays 3DS just fine, N64 obviously. All this is going to play perfectly fine. Nintendo Switch is harder. So because the Nintendo Switch emulators are new, when games come out on them, they are going to take a little while, usually, before they are 100% on PC. But Legends Arceus has been out for a while, and so it plays perfectly. This is one of the games that plays fantastic on here. You're not going to have any issues with Legends Arceus. It looks like I set this one to launch in full screen, so... I'm still tweaking on the system a little bit. I make little minor tweaks and adjustments to all the settings and stuff like that, so I'm still going through and playing with it. For those of you who have been on my channel before, you know I like to mess with all this kind of stuff and push it to the limit. So as you can see, it says press B. That's because this is the Xbox layout. I know it's kind of glossy, it's hard to see, but it's A, B, Y, and X. And I actually put a mod on here that essentially showcases that. It essentially lines that up. So like the action button is B and the back button is A. Just like on a Nintendo Switch with the layout. But because this is the Xbox layout, I wanted to have it where it says press Y on the screen, it'll say I actually press Y. Or if it says press B, then I would actually press B. So for me, that was convenient. I'm going to run through here and see if I can get in a battle for you guys, just to kind of showcase it. And as you can see, I mean, it's running 100%. I'll put my overlay on for this, because now we're going to be kind of getting into the games that are going to be worth checking out. The settings are going to be worth looking at. Right now, we're locked at 30 so far. Let's see if I can find a Pokemon to fight. All the Pokemon are shy today. Okay, there's a Starly up ahead. And as you can see, it says A to run, B to fight, and then so if I press B, that's to fight. So I thought that was cool, because you know the Nintendo layout and the Xbox layout are completely different. So that is actually the only mod that I'm running. And you guys can tell this is 100% full speed. 100%. So you're not going to have any trouble running Legends Arceus on your ROG Ally if that's what you want to do. Okay? Now, the new Zelda, it runs, I would say it runs okay using the YuZu emulator with a few mods like FPS++ and a few others, a few graphical mods that will enhance your gameplay experience. But I would say right now, I'm not going to dedicate a bunch of time playing Tears of the Kingdom on this, because the emulator is not quite there yet with this particular game. So there's a few more things that they're going to have to do to get it to run, in my opinion, you know, flawlessly. Now, I've looked up all the best settings. I've looked up everything, and it runs really well. I have a desktop where I run it as well, and it runs fine. It's just not perfect yet. But neither was the Switch, and I actually had to overclock my Switch to get perfect performance out of that. So this game, it's just really hard to run. But I would say that it is playable. It is for sure playable. Just for me, I would just rather play this on my Switch right now. Also, there's some slight artifacting in some areas, as you can see here. There's some slight artifacting. That just has to do with the graphics drivers. That I have no doubt will be fixed very quickly. So actually, I'm going to run out here because I'm getting a solid 40 FPS inside this cave. But running out here will push it a little harder. Same thing with the Xbox layout mod. A few minor graphical issues, a few stutters here and there, but I would say that this is playable. Not my preferred way to play, but it is playable. I think I'm actually going to switch back to that. See a couple stutters there. I think it dropped down to 29 FPS right there. But you know, as shaders cache and everything like that, this will get better and better. And I am playing this in the original 720p, I think. I'd have to check, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, I didn't upscale any of this, nothing like that. And as you can see, it has a few stutters. And I've done all the settings, I've changed it all, and I've played up to this point, and it's really not that big of an issue. It plays pretty well all in all. But I would say if you're wanting to get the ROG Ally for this particular game, just wait off a couple of weeks, 2 weeks probably, and this will be sorted out. And I noticed there's similar performance on other handheld PCs as well. Let's see. And in some areas, you're just going to get way better FPS. So like going into a cave. New shaders caching there. And sorry if y'all can hear my kiddo in the background. Let's see. Okay, that's a little bit of Tears of the Kingdom so you guys can get an idea of some of the performance. I'm going to hop out of here. And the last but not least, I think I'm going to do a little bit of PlayStation 3 emulation. Again, it comes down to the emulator. Some games are going to run flawlessly, where other games are going to need a little bit of shader caching and going to need a little bit of work. And I think that God of War runs pretty good. I was checking this the other day, but I don't think I have it set to launch in full screen mode because I was changing some settings and stuff. Yeah, and I'll skip this part for you guys. Only takes about 45 seconds or so. Okay. Let's see. Probably just load one of my previous saves. Now again, with this one, God of War is extremely hard to run. This is running RPCS 3. And this runs really well after your shaders have cached. So I would say that this is playable for sure. And you can set it to where it'll launch in full screen. I just didn't. Let's see if we can get into a fight. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try that out.
The planes of exile will serve you well, Kratos. Use them to call forth the spirits of your exiled Spartan brothers.
And as you can see, I mean, this runs really well once you've got those shaders cached, which I've cached the shaders for this area. Little bit of God of War 3 using RPCS excuse me, RPCS 3. All right. So that one's pretty tough to run, but the ROG handles it well. Do a little bit of a Raging Blast gameplay is another cool one. I really enjoyed this one. I think I am going to turn off the overlay for this one because I know that the emulator doesn't have any trouble running this. I think that the first scene, the cutscene, has like some slight graphical glitches. Again, just the emulator. And other than that, this one is 100%. Just do a little bit of gameplay. All right. And this one plays perfectly. It's gonna need to run at least 15 watts on the TDP, but it's nothing crazy.
I'll show you just how strong your training's made. As though it actually mattered.
It's just in training mode. Just wanted to showcase a little bit of some of the crazier effects. I mean, doesn't have any issues. Transforming. So I mean, if it's playing at full speed during all this, it'll play at full speed at any time. Let's see if that actually does a scene. Yeah. Okay, so that's Raging Blast plays perfectly on RPCS 3. So no problem. Yep, so that's all the way through PS3. So now I'm going to showcase, I'm going to exit this, switch back to auto mode for my controls. Now I have a front end essentially for my AAA titles. I rarely use this front end, but it's just kind of cool to have. So this is my AAA titles front end. It's kind of like a PS5 layout, and these are the AAA titles that I've loaded into it currently. So Assassin's Creed Origins, Diablo 4, Dishonored, that's Dishonored 2, Fable Anniversary, Grounded, Spider-Man Remastered, Mortal Kombat 11, and Red Dead Redemption 2. So I will do a little bit of Mortal Kombat 11. All of these are going to play perfectly, by the way. And I don't usually launch things from Playnite. I just will usually launch it from the desktop. But Playnite's pretty cool as a front end for your PC games. I'll just do a little bit of gameplay. Do the classic matchup. And I don't want to spend too much longer on any of these because we're already getting kind of long in the video. And I am not a Mortal Kombat master, so don't judge me at all, please. Ooh, got him. Ooh. He's smoking me. Gotcha. Yeah, I cannot string that. I'm out of practice there. But yeah, that's Mortal Kombat 11. Plays great, obviously. I mean, that's gonna, all your PC games are gonna play great. You may have to change your settings a little bit, up your wattage, lower your resolution, that kind of thing. But that plays fantastic. So I'm gonna go ahead and close that out. Yeah, and see, I'm not a huge fan of Playnite. It's just not. I mean, it's fun. It's just not as intuitive as something like BigBox for me personally. Okay, Diablo's gonna run great. It runs fantastic. I got between 40 and 60 FPS at a lower wattage, 15. But let's try Spider-Man Remastered. All the games on here are gonna run fine. You're just gonna have to change a couple of settings or whatever. So all these have their own launchers, all their unique little quirks that come with their launchers. So, you know, you gotta, Playnite is fine, but it's more of a gimmick for me right now because unless it can actually launch into all of my games with the launchers, like right there, I had to press play on it. So it kind of defeats the purpose for me. So I'd rather just keep it in mouse mode and launch it from the desktop. But that's personal preference, you know. I'm not I'm not against it at all, and maybe I'm just missing some settings or something. I just recently started messing with Playnite, but I usually will just launch from the desktop personally. But it is cool if you guys want a front end for your PC games or whatever. Just gonna load in here, show a little bit of gameplay. Again, I am at the 30 watts operating mode, and I'm gonna put my real-time monitor on for this one. This is not the most interesting part.
Don't bother. I'm on it.
Okay, let's see here.
Do it. Watch my back.
I'm also playing from behind a screen, so y'all don't judge me on this one either.
I'm sure these guys didn't forget their keys.
Oh yeah, okay. It's coming back to me.
Okay,
Yep, so
wrapped up.
we'll do a little bit of swinging around the city.
You're in luck, Yuri. Your favorite tough but lovable grizzled seen too much detective is in town.
What? No. You promised you wouldn't do that any...
Spider cop.
Please, no.
So you're the snitch.
Back off, creep.
Yep, she's the one.
I said
And see, this is playing fine. I'm gonna remove the overlay.
leave me alone.
Keep it quiet, Lee.
Don't touch me. Help.
Okay.
Get away from her.
Got some of this. So what did it say? I have to web these guys? Yeah.
Walk away now, or she's dead.
Let me go.
All clear, ma'am.
All right, a little bit of Spider-Man.
Wrong about you. You're a little weird, but you gotta.
I got a hotkey on the back. If you hold the hotkey and you press right on the D-pad, you can exit any of your windows. Let's see. You know, I think that's pretty much going to cover it. Everything really runs great. All the AAA stuff, all the old stuff, retro stuff, everything runs great, y'all. But the video is pretty long now, so I think I'm going to cut it off there. But if you guys have any questions, just let me know down in the comments below, and I'll try and get back to you. Okay, later.